Well, a secret Toronto show from one of the world's biggest bands is finally being released. It's been 45 years since the Rolling Stones played two now famous shows at the Mocambo. The Rockers are going to be releasing a complete mix of the recordings of the shows that happened March 4th and 5th, 1977. Live at the Mocambo comes out this May. So for more on this, we're joined live by Duff Roman, who produced the Rolling Stones at the Mocambo back in '77. Duff, such a pleasure to have you on the program this afternoon. What do you make of this? There are plenty of bootleg copies of this, but finally a re-recording, remastered version of this legitimately coming out. How excited are you?
Oh, I am very excited, considering that was really the golden age for baby boomers. The whole Toronto scene, the Elmo on Spadina, and then that whole Yonge Street strip. It was really an exciting time for music in Toronto. And to pull this off as a secret concert, man, that was fantastic.
Can you give us a bit of an insight as to how you did that? Because, you know, that story is amazing.
Well, I'm essentially a cog in quite a big wheel, working with my colleague Bob Wood on 1050 Chum AM side. But just a sort of a quick synopsis of some of the events. I ran across Peter Rudge, who was the New York manager and tour manager for the Stones, and Mick Jagger. While I was having brunch in the Three Small Rooms, old-timers will remember that, just off Bloor Street. They walked into the club. I sent over my card. I said, if I can help in any way, let me know. What I didn't realize at that time is they were already scouting for a small venue. They were tired of soccer stadiums, and they wanted to do something more intimate for their fans. And within a few weeks, the phone rang. I was summoned into the executive offices of Chum, and we started to put together a plan about how we could pull off a secret concert where the winners of a contest would not even realize that they were going to see the Rolling Stones live.
Unbelievable. Only about 300 people in those shows. What stood out to you the most? There were two shows, Duff. What stood out to you the most about those shows? Because most of this new album is really from the second show, which many people believe was the better of the two.
Well, I see why people would think it is the better of the two, and that is the first concert on the Friday night, on the 4th day of March, 1977, was actually in secret, something that couldn't have happened in this day of cell phones and digital technology, so that people couldn't get the word out. So essentially, when we went in for the first show, the people on the buses who were toured in, brought in through the back door of the club, could not tell their friends that it wasn't the April Wine show that they were going to see. They were actually going to see the Rolling Stones. Well, after the first concert, we tried to keep it a secret, but rumor has it was the Stones themselves who couldn't believe that a band of their stature could be kept a secret. So the word went out, and essentially Spadina almost closed down. It was crazy for the second show. So there was a totally different vibe. I mean, there was electricity. Being there made you a believer that the Stones were actually doing this unbelievable caper that no one could ever have dreamed up. You know, if you'd ever said that they'd wind up in a capacity of 300 at the El Mocambo Club in Toronto, they would have asked you what you were smoking.
No kidding. I'm sure there was a lot being smoked those two nights, Duff, that's for sure.
Well, listen, just a comment. With Maggie Trudeau there was so much security. There was a very mild night. There wasn't that pungent Yorkville atmosphere for most of those evenings with that tight security.
Okay, I hear you on that. So, you know, pretty amazing. Like you said, trying to do that in this day and age likely couldn't happen. But what we do know as well, Duff, is the Stones loved Toronto. What was it about the Stones and Toronto that seemed to connect as far as you understood?
Well, there are a lot of good things about Toronto. First of all, Toronto was too modest about what it meant as an international music capital. We have a different vibe here. We're Canadian. We have a different sort of welcoming vibe. All musicians are comfortable up here. Going back to how early on we had black and white musicians being on the same stages. Everybody loved Toronto. But the big thing about Toronto, I think for the Stones in a specific way, is they met up with Michael Cole, and Billy Ballard, and they went into a management and booking deal with them, and they started to make money hand over fist. They were in the hands of the best promoters who, went on to essentially found Live Nation and all of those other monstrous global booking agencies. So the Stones always loved coming back to Toronto. It had nothing but good memories for them. So that's part of, I think, of the magic and the excitement that has driven Toronto's reputation.
Yeah, and the magic lives on today with an album coming out in May. Listen, Duff, thanks so much for your time again. Really appreciate talking to you here. Of course, Duff Roman produced the Rolling Stones at the Mocambo in '77. Have a great weekend, Duff.
Thank you very much, Nick. Appreciate it.
Thank you.